Imagine this. You agree to meet a friend at a restaurant at 6 o'clock. You arrive right on time. You sit down and you wait. Finally, at 6:20, you check your phone and realize, oh no, you are at the wrong restaurant. Well, if you want to tell this funny story in English, you need a very special grammar tool. You would say, I had been waiting for 20 minutes when I realized I was in the wrong restaurant. Today in this explainer, we are going to learn exactly how to use this tool. It's called the past perfect continuous tense.
Okay, let's dive right in. This timeline makes everything so easy to see. Look at the first cross on the left. That is when you started waiting, at 6 p.m. The line shows that you continued to wait, then the second cross is 6:20 p.m. That's when you realized you were in the wrong place. And way over on the right is now. Notice that everything happened in the past? So we use this tense to show that an action started in the past, continued for a while, and then finished before a second past event happened.
Building this tense is actually incredibly simple. You really only need 3 easy steps. Step 1. Pick your subject, like I, you, he, she, we, or they. Step 2. Add the magic words had been. And guess what? This never changes. Step 3. Take your action verb, like work or play, and just add ing to the end. For example, I had been working. See? Super easy.
Now that you know the rules, let's try it out together. Your verb is think. Pause this explainer right now and say your answer out loud. I'll give you a few seconds to fill in the blank.
Okay, did you say it? The correct answer is, I had been thinking of ordering pizza. Great job! See how easy it is to use these 3 building blocks? Subject, then had been, and then your verb with ing? You're already getting it. But be careful, here is a very common spelling mistake a lot of beginners make. When a short action word ends with letters like CHAT, we usually have to double that last letter before we add ing. So writing chatting with just 1 T is incorrect. Chatting with 2 T's is perfectly correct. Definitely keep this in mind when you're writing. Let's look at how this works in everyday real life. We often use this tense to explain exactly why someone felt a certain way. For example, she was tired. Why? Because she had been studying all night. Her studying is that past action. It continued for a long time, and the result was that she felt tired. Great! You just learned the positive form and the reason form. Next, let's try making it negative. How do you say that someone did not do something? Look at this sentence. He had been exercising regularly. I want you to make this negative. Go ahead and say it out loud right now. Yes! The answer is, he hadn't been exercising regularly. We simply add not right after had. But you know, in natural spoken English, we usually squeeze those words together to make the contraction hadn't. You take had not, take out the O, and add an apostrophe. He hadn't been exercising. Using hadn't makes you sound so natural and friendly in everyday conversation. Now listen closely because here is a very important rule. We do not use this ing tense with feeling or thinking words. In English grammar, we call these stative verbs. These are words like know, believe, love, or feel. So look at the incorrect example. They had been knowing each other. We just can't say this. Instead, we simply say they had known each other for years. Remember, no ing for feeling and knowing words. Okay, another absolutely crucial part of this is telling people exactly how long an action happened. We use 2 special words for this, for and since. Check out this chart. We use for with a period or an amount of time, like for 6 months or for 2 hours. We use since when we have a fixed starting point in time, like since January or since 2010. Here is a very frequent mix-up you should avoid. Look at the incorrect sentence. The police had been looking since 2 months. Well, because 2 months is an amount of time, it's a period, we absolutely must use for. So the correct way to say it is, the police had been looking for 2 months. Now, sometimes people will ask you questions using this tense. If someone asks, had you been considering that offer? You really don't need to repeat the whole long sentence back to them. You can just give a short, polite answer. You simply say, yes, I had, or no, I hadn't. But remember one very strict rule. We never contract the positive short answer. You cannot say, yes, I'd. It always has to be the full, yes, I had.
Let's stop here for a quick true or false quiz. Let's see if you remember the rules for those time words. Here is your sentence. Jenny had been walking since 4 miles a day before she broke her ankle. Is this use of since correct? Think about it for just a few seconds. And the answer is false. 4 miles is an amount. It's a measurement of distance. So we need to say Jenny had been walking for 4 miles a day. Great job if you caught that sneaky mistake.
Before we finish up today, let's fix the biggest mistake beginners make. They often confuse has been with had been. Look at John here. John looked for a job, and then he found one. That action is completely finished in the past. If you say, John has been looking, well, that actually means he is still looking right now in the present. Because he already found the job in the past, we must use the past tense word, John had been looking for a job.
Wow, we have covered so much amazing grammar in this explainer today. Let's quickly recap everything you learned to make sure it really sticks in your memory. First, we use this tense for a past action that happened before another past action. Like, we had been playing tennis when it started to rain. Second, our easy formula is subject plus had been plus verb with ing. Third, to make it negative, we just say hadn't been. Fourth, remember, no ing for feeling words like knowing. And finally, use for with amounts of time and since with starting dates.
All right, now it is time for your final test. Let's see how much you really learned. Look at the dramatic story on your screen. The action word is play. I want you to say the whole correct sentence out loud for me right now. Come on, I'm listening.
Beautiful! The orchestra had been playing when a woman started screaming. You perfectly combined the had-been formula to show one past action happening before another past action started.
And here is your absolute final challenge. I want you to type your answer down below in the comment section. Look very, very closely at this negative sentence. I hadn't been sleeping well. There's a very tricky spelling mistake hidden in there with the apostrophe. Find the mistake and type the correct spelling in the comments right now before I reveal it to you next time.
You made it to the very end. That tells me you are a really serious learner who achieves your goals. You are a winner. I hope you feel so much more confident using the past perfect continuous tense now. If you found this explainer helpful, please like it, share it with your friends who are learning English, and subscribe to the channel. You've mastered how to talk about the past, but what happens when an action starts in the past and literally never stops? Think about that. We'll explore that time-traveling English trick in our next explainer. Take care, and I will see you very soon.